Thanks for joining us. Well, we're back after that 10-day break, and we still have to do two more breaks. Like 2 days, yes. We're coming back on Wednesday. But that's the way of welcoming you back into our studios. The Supreme Court has adjourned, but we'll do some discussion on what has gone on today. Thanks for your company. My name is Henry Herbert. Ma'am, I welcome you in on behalf of the crew here. Now, quickly, let me take this opportunity also to welcome those we have here. George Tetewayo speaks for the NDC. He's a legal, a legal practitioner, and also Dr. Morris Ampa, also a legal practitioner. Well, today we don't have Gary. Looks like he's represented fairly in the Supreme Court. Maybe on Wednesday we will get him here. So we will attempt to walk through what's happened in court briefly, and then we'll take a break as the Supreme Court itself has until Wednesday. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. A number of issues we've seen, but let's start with the last one, which has a lot to do with what we all do, our media house, and then as well as those of you who come on, and generally the media. They have not been happy, and I think this issue has been raised a few times already. Today, we understand there's a final touchline that if you cross, you would meet or be met with the appropriate response from the court. And that really is a clear warning now.
The court is so powerful that you cannot dictate to the Supreme Court judges. The Constitution says you cannot even interfere with their administration plus their jurisdiction in the way they determine issues. So I am so happy that the president or the presiding judge have come out to say that the media, all the networks, the radio, television, print media, we have been channeling a lot of disrespect, misreportage. We have also been contentious. We are even undermined the authority of the Supreme Court judges. And I'm surprised that we keep on doing these things. People out there are not checking statements made by other people, lawyers, other people, politicians. The moment those statements are made, whether they are contentious or not, the media carries out. When you go to social media, it is there. People making statements, mention the name of judges, attributing certain things to them which they do not, and rightly so. Judge Atuka was not happy that they said his spin sheets, copy of the spin sheet. All these things are not true. You see, when you do that, you try to expose the judge to public hatred, ridicule, and contempt. Then it becomes a subject of discussion. The presiding president of the Supreme Court judge is now in the media, and people will be, then they begin to color him, they begin to ridicule him. Then I don't know, what are we doing? Then we have people coming out to tell the Supreme Court what orders they can make and what orders they cannot make. And we have people coming out to tell the Supreme Court that they should stop using technicalities and rather use more of what is fair. What are we doing to the institution? And
you have always held the view that they should crack the whip.
Yes, that is my view. That look, they should. If I had this view, I said to myself that I think I have to. Some of us have to take the examples. When statements are being made, the way City Vigilante
Amidu
is specializing on judgment debt. I think some of us also must start specializing on contempt, so that when people make contemptuous statements, we cite them before the High Court. See, once we cite one or two before the High Court, it's more like a quasi-judicial trial. Now you will be going to court. If you go to court and the High Court determine whether that matter you have stated is amount to interfere with the administrative justice, then you see. You see, it is so very, very disheartening, and it have to take the Supreme Court judges to come out to warn them. This is about 3 or 4 times, warning the media and then the lawyers. So I'm sure this time they have to send a strong signal from today, as we all seated here speaking. If we dare take us on, they should administer justice without fear or favor. They should let the executive the legislature, the media, the various institutions, and even lawyers know that they are in charge, and the destiny of this nation as of now is in their hands. So we should not try to do anything to expose them to popularity. And then you realize that they are not happy. See, the judges, the Supreme Court judges are not happy. They are like, please don't do what you are doing, and we keep on doing it. So this is a signal. Let everybody. I'm sure he mentioned 2 newspaper publication, but it goes beyond that. Sure. He sent a signal to others, including what we are doing here. So that is my take. We should be very careful. We should not push them for them to invoke that power that they have to punish us.
I think it's a partisan wing of those who normally show up to make comments and all those things, who have issues now, or are beginning to gather a lot of issues with the Supreme Court judges. So perhaps that should be looked at, in that light.
Harry, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers. I think that, like Doug said, he said everything. The Supreme Court is the last court of the land, and they wield enormous power. In fact, if we say the law is in the bosom of the judge, it can be any of the judges from the district court, circuit, upwards. But when we say the law is in the bosom of the judge, we mean the Supreme Court law justices. At that point, they are the law justices. That's why we call them lords. They are the law lords. They can do anything with the law, only in contention, not with the Constitution. So I think that, like Council just said, series of events have come up. And I always try to attribute this to, has it been that this live telecast is why we all find ourselves in this situation? Because if you recall, in the past, we keep to say that we always think that Supreme Court, when are you going to get there? You practice for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, you've not gotten there because a case must take you there. And their jurisdiction is so limited that they only look at very important, like they are interpreting what the document, what does the Constitution say? The Supreme Court must interpret it. So these are the areas that they look at. So if you don't go before them, appear before them with these matters, you can never go there. You can never go there. You don't get there. 30 years, you don't get there. So now that we are live telecasting this thing, that is as a nation, and that is what I also want to employ, that His Lordship should also factor in that it is because they themselves have allowed us to watch on TV. So now it's like everybody is in his kitchen, somebody is on the football field, and the TV is by the next shop, the next beer bar, and he's hearing, and then they are commenting. That is where we find ourselves now. But I think it's a clarion call on society.
Shouldn't that be the reason why we are careful? Because if then things happen in the courtroom and only a few people are privy to that, they'll come and read or write to us what happened in there, then so be it. But now we all have the opportunity to watch, to listen. We're seeing everything that's happening in there. Must that be grounds for these countless numbers of violations that we're witnessing?
Henry, like you're saying, but I think that we all know that the courts do not publicize their proceedings, even though it's open, so you can go there and sit down and watch. But then the simple fact that it's now being telecasted, the argument is that everybody is watching and we want to speak or talk about it. And the difficulty is, where I think the law justices are becoming a bit worried, is how we carry what has transpired. I think they don't have a problem with we commenting, with we discussing the issue, with people discussing it, because like you said, the power is with the people. It's the people who with the power. And this matter involves the people. So what the law justices are trying to indicate is that they are not against the media reporting. Because if the media does not report, then there's cost 90. So we should report. But what comes out of the reportage? We should comment and discuss. But how we discuss, the line of discussion. So like you said, some partisan, yes. If the law justice pink sheet are to be used as control mechanism, the simple issue here is that if you're a media house, be there and get the right information and publish it for the people to consume. But then you steal it, like you said, you steal the information based on a certain partisan nature, how you see it, and then you tow it, trying to say that, for example, like the law justice said, when the box left is picked, it will tally. So that particular reportage was seeking to bring to bear that they've already counted 9,800 thereabout. There's one more box left. When they count it will reach the 11,000. And so that was the essence of that reportage. And that is not what has outplayed in court. So I think their problem is Go there, discuss the information. That is why we are telecasting it. Discuss it with your people. Explain it to the man, the layman down there, but explain what transpired.
Don't twist.
Don't twist it.
So now twisting really lies in their bosom. That's what it means.
Yeah, definitely. You see, we have the those who are doing genuine work, those who are hardworking. I think we ought to also commend the media. They have done marvelous well by telecasting the cost involved, and then also the personnel over there. I think those who have been in the courtroom, their reportage is more contemporaneously.
Let me rudely interrupt you. Let's go to Supreme Court area. As usual, we'll speak with the counsels here. I understand one of them is speaking. Let's listen to her.
We are going to be looking at some 5 huge documents. We were seeking 2 clear days, but the court adjourned to Wednesday, which is giving us just a part of today and tomorrow. We also had pending an application for a notice to produce, which was served on the Electoral Commission. We were asking them to provide to the petitioners the collation sheets on some 13 constituencies. Remember, in the beginning, before the hearing started, we had applied for the EC to provide us with all the pin sheets on the entire 26,002 polling stations, as well as the collation sheets at our own cost. The court held that our pin sheets were as good as the original copies with the EC. Nobody had challenged the genuineness of the documents. In any case, we had the documents and that it was premature. So the application was refused. It has emerged in court that parties or their representatives are not provided with collation sheets. They are only provided with a summary of the results at the collation center. We have therefore found it necessary to apply again to the court, asking the Electoral Commission to provide us with the collation sheets, not of the 26,002 polling stations, but the collation sheets in respect of only 13 constituencies. Remember, the results of the polling stations are collated to make up the results of the constituencies, because the results are declared on the basis of constituencies. In respect of the KPMG report, we ask that we be provided with soft copies, because the law says so, that in filing documents you could file in electronic copies and then back it with hard copies. The copies that were given to the parties and the court are in hard copy. This was resisted by those on the other side on the stated reason that there was allegedly an agreement that no soft copies will be provided. It became necessary therefore to get the KPMG representative to come and indicate to the court whether there was any such agreement. Our position was that in the course of the counting, daily printouts were being provided to our representatives, and therefore on account of that, for the security of the count, it was agreed that no soft copy will be provided in respect of the daily counts, and therefore it did not cover the report, the final report. Indeed, now that the final report is out, there will be no security breach of the count. So we thought that for an expeditious review of the report, if we were provided with the soft copies, it would help to make the work easier. But the court has held that in view of what the representative of the KPMG came to say, he did not say that. He actually said the agreement not to provide soft copies did not affect the final report, but that it was a policy of their company that soft copies of such documents be not granted. So in that regard, the court said we should be denied the use of the soft copies.
The issues about numbers, the auditing, do you now know the numbers in terms of the figures that were presented as evidence as of now?
I can remember a few. In respect of the count by the registry, if you don't mind, I'll look at my notes.
Yeah.
Of the count of the registrar, there were 13,926. which included some 3,593 duplicates. If you take the duplicates out, you are left with 10,333. Now, the president's count came up to 9,860. It should be observed, however, that out of the president's counts, it was discovered that 871 could not be found in the registrar's copy. Remember, we had always said that there must have been some mix-up. So that clearly shows that there was some mix-up, because you will find some in the registrar's set which is not in the president's set, and you will find some in the registrar's set which is not in the president's set. But also more importantly, when Dr. Bawumia was under cross-examination, he was confronted with some of the pink sheets that were served on the respondents from the registry. Out of those documents that were used to confront Dr. Bawumia, about 11,015 of the documents, the pink sheets in the possession of the respondents, are not in those that were counted at the registry. It confirms 1,015 of the documents that Dr. Bawumia was the pink sheets are not in the register set. So it confirms our position, because if you put those 1,000 and you add them to the 10,333, clearly we are well within the number of pink sheets that we say we have filed. That is 11,842.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That is lawyer Korea.
So that's it. Are we on? Yes. So that's it. We are done with the comment by Gloria Ekufu on what they saw in court. She was telling us what transpired in court according to their own lenses. You're still watching the live coverage of the election petition. Today is day 34, and there was some 1 week or so of a break, and today we are back to continue with the cross-examination of the Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Kwejo Afari. Unfortunately, that did not happen because of the fact that there was a KPMG report that needed to be looked at. It has been looked at, and a number of issues arose as a result of the KPMG report. One was the fact that the petitioners were asking for, Nana Tujazi is right here with us, so we will go straight to him and then he will brief us on what has transpired in court according to their own lives.
Nana, you're welcome.
Well, thanks very much. Very short session. KPMG formally tendered their report today through their representative, Mr. Dodu. Under the rules, once he tenders, the parties are entitled to cross-examine, but this has been deferred. I mean, the court, the parties thanked KPMG for their efforts, but at this stage, the petitioners raised two requests. One, for an adjournment to enable them study the documents a little more closely and come back to be able to decide whether to cross-examine or not to cross-examine the witness. And the second was for a copy or a soft copy of the report, CD, so that it will facilitate their study. The first request for the adjournment was debate. Yes, is that
2 clear days?
Yeah, for 2 clear days adjournment. Well, it was argued and battled, but the court eventually has agreed to reconvene on the 26th. So I guess it's been approved in part. The second issue, which was a little more contentious, was over production of a copy of the soft copy or a CD to the petitioner to enable them study. This was resisted by the respondents, who claimed that one, there was a fundamental agreement between the parties that only one original copy of the CD should exist on the lock and key, and that copies could be supplied of the hard copies could be supplied to all the parties. This was disputed by became a dispute between the parties, and eventually Mr. Dodo had to be recalled. And he affirmed that as a general rule, by practice, they don't supply work records to parties, and that in this particular case, upon specific demand, he said he affirmed that yes, the parties agreed that no soft copy should be given to either party. In any case, as he indicated, administratively, they don't normally do that. On the strength of that, the court ruled that the consent understanding, that agreement that had been reached by the two parties, that is the petitioners and respondent, should be respected. And so the request put by the petitioners asking the court to order KPMG to give them a copy was by 7-2 decision of the court, declined. After this, of course, as I said, the case was adjourned to the 26th. We'll come back and we'll continue. The court, however, came out with a very strong final warning to all communicators. That is to you journalists and to us as the lawyers who make presentation in court. I think that the court is very much aware of the difficult task that we are doing, trying to communicate and let our people understand what is happening in court. But at the same time, their concern was with what appeared to be, a total misrepresentation or possibly fabrication of what does not exist in court. I think the court has a point there. They cited a specific example of Daily Guide, I think last Friday or whatever, and the president of the court took exception to some write-up. Like I'm saying, these are warnings. He says that for this to be a final warning, the court will take a decision if it happens again. And I'm saying it's a difficult task that all of us are undertaking, particularly reporting, the hours of court proceedings in legal language and all that. And I don't think the idea is also to stop, the public from knowing what is happening. They agree that it should, but like I said, it's a warning to all of us, and I think we take it in good faith.
Now, concerning the audit of the work of the KPMG, what do you think are the key issues that they came out with in their report?
Yeah, but that's exactly what the court is complaining about. That
the report has been presented.
Well, that is it. The report has been presented, but technically it's not been opened, as it were, and I think that really we should exercise a little bit of patience. Figures, yes, the figures are there. Let us see these figures come out in in real terms. One thing we are certain is that our position is also very much as we ever said. We've kept saying we were not given a certain number. We are yet to see in formal terms what the report will say. But we are very confident that no matter what it is, no matter how you count, no matter who counts it, it will come back to our position as we said.
Well, that's it. You heard from Donato Dadzie, a member of the NDC legal team, who was briefing us about what transpired in court.
So welcome back now. Yes, Abdul trying to wrap up there, but it's all about Donato Dadzie and then Gloria Kufu. We've heard from them virtually going over what we've all listened to in court and the fact that they both stand in their grounds as far as what the claims they're making in court. So let's come back quickly. We have discussed the issue to do with what we do in the media and how we've got to be careful about ourselves, because the Supreme Court will want to take us on if we do misrepresent their positions anyhow.
I think let's send this this piece of education to the public, that the Supreme Court is not trying to gag the media. No. It's trying to say that freedom must go with responsibility. So we should be responsible for what we say.
Freedom and justice.
Yes, freedom and justice. So they are not guiding the media. You can't stop anybody from commenting or sharing opinion, but you should not prejudge.
Don't misrepresent.
Don't twist. That's all.
That's what they're saying. Important. Okay, so let's move on now. And the contentious issue here also has to do with soft copies, the release or otherwise of soft copies. I think it's been pronounced on. That has been refused. But in your view, what does that come to? Wanting soft copies, not having them, having hard copies. Is there anything that will change substantially if the two were to go alongside?
Thank you very much, Henry. Like listening to Senior Counsel Gloria Akufu, she made reference to the law, that the law permits that when you are filing processes, and especially documents, documentary evidence in court, I mean, you can bring in both the hard and the soft copy. I think this is information because of the information age. And so it's all good that when you are submitting documents, you can bring the ones that makes your work very easier. But this is quite a different scenario because we have an entity that has been taxed by the court to do a particular work. And after their work, they have to present their reports to the court. And as an organization, they have their own internal mechanism, their own policies. And it's played in court that they don't give soft copies to people who contract them to do works for them. They rather give you hard copies with the caveat or with the proviso. In fact, with the proviso that when you need certain clarifications of what went into getting that final report, then as an institution, they can take you through the processes, the procedure, and the mode upon which they arrived at certain details of the report. But for them to give you the soft copy, it's a risk management. They use that to, protect their integrity. And Henry, where as respondent, I think Tony Later, Senior Tony Later made clear indication to that. One reason is that when you have soft copies going out, the possibility of it being doctored, it being adulterated is high. If you have a hard copy, more or less like it's sealed, because you cannot now put in or infute any other information. But if you have the soft copy, it's on your laptop, it's on your computer, it's on your device, and at any point in time you can just go after the dot or the comma and then start to put in other things. So to safeguard that particular disposition, I think that they agreed. And one interesting thing from this particular exercise is that KPMG indicates that the parties agreed, and they agreed per their rules of engagement that no soft copies will go out to any party. So at the end of the day, KPMG keeps the final soft copy, and in fact with rules like it being under lock and key. So here is the indication.
Who holds the key?
I think KPMG will do that.
Keeps it.
KPMG will do that. They will keep it. Because in any event, we keep to say the custodians of the document. When it comes to electoral processes, EC is the custodian. So in this matter, KPMG is the custodian of this particular draft report, so long as this auditing of pink sheet is concerned. So if there is the agreement among the parties that you get hard copies, and even the court get hard copies, then we keep one soft copy under lock and key. So in the event that any time we must reproduce, then we can do that. But to send it out there or give it to the parties, and this is a highly political matter. You send the document to maybe the party headquarters, and before you see, Henry, it's all over the place. It will be in a certain constituency with a party, maybe constituency chairman far away in my hometown, my area attack radio or somebody's trouble. So these are safety measures. And what I want to identify with is that if it was an agreement, if it was part of the rules of engagement, then all parties must abide by the rules of engagement. And we as respondents are abiding by it. So we are a bit surprised why the petitioners are carrying the argument that if you also want a copy, you can ask for it. It's not gotten to if whoever wants a copy. We had a rule of engagement. We had certain terms.
You are satisfied with the hard copies?
We have hard copies. And Henry, the interesting thing is that the hard copies are just a replica of the soft copy.
Okay, but that's what they are saying. If it's just a replica, give us the two. But anyways, we ruled against.
We don't see why
they have ruled upon it. It's against them. It's like, no, you can't have it, because I think the gentleman from KPMG proceeded on the premise that's for some risk management, and as well to just give a lot of accent to their own procedures within. They do not give those things out, and that if they so wish, they could be invited and walk through the processes, isn't it?
Yes, I think you can look at it from the angle from the petitioners. Let's look at why Adesi wanted. Its main purpose is to to make sure that they don't, the volume of the report, if you want to go through manually, it's more tedious. So with the soft copy, he was just looking at it from the angle of making the things easier. Mm-hmm. But I think because of the risk management, as said by the KPAG man and then raised by the respondent, that look, if you give you soft copy, they may be subject to manipulation. And this time, Chachukata was very careful in the choice of words, so that the Adesenko will not accuse him of incriminating them. Okay. So it actually, and I like the wisdom of the Supreme Court judges, say, look, put the KPAG man in the witness box and let him testify. But I realized that in testifying, I realized that the court was somehow soft on him because he testified there was no cross-examination. But you realize that in his small evidence, he said, look, that is our position.
I think the cross-examination almost started. Yes. I saw a couple of questions being thrown at him.
Yes, you realize that the court did not allow him.
Sure.
Because if you allow this in, Addison would have troubled the man. Because the man somehow contradicted himself when he said, we initially, he said that initially that was their position. Mm-hmm. But then when push, he said, on the final report, we didn't say that the parties will not get a copy. Mm-hmm. But he said initially that was what they agreed. But just
I think if you understood him, I think he's trying to say that when they put that initially, it covers everything.
Initially, Jack was trying to find out what was the final, whether initially you agree, but the final report can a person.
Okay.
Then he said no, that was not agreement, but that is their policy. Okay. Once that is their policy, now the Supreme Court, I think, took the position that look, why do you have to bother KPMG? This is an innocent institution who is doing things for free. They don't take any money. Then you come and put them there and they try to put pressure on them.
That should not absorb them also of a little scrutiny. Both parties.
Yes, definitely. You see, they have nothing to hide. That's why I'm so happy that the KPMG representative said that look, if the petitioners you are worried and you think that you want any clarification, come. We will make ourselves available. So although the court have made an order that they should not be given a soft copy, but because of the other opinion that has been given to the petitioners, that look, KPMG is ready to walk them through the soft copy report. I think that will be okay. It's a good decision. Let's go by it. It will not change anything. So let's go by it.
We should stand by this, like you say.
Definitely.
There's no need to open this thing up again. And do a back and forth on it, and I'm sure the respondents will also stay.
Harry, I mean, the reason why we stood stronger on this matter is just that we want to protect this particular report. We don't want it to be doctored. We are not going to say in open court that we don't trust somebody one bit. No, we won't do that. We respect counsel on the other side. It's the duty of both lawyers to respect the integrity of it's the bar. The bench respect the bar. So if we begin to tell ourselves, or if we begin to show signs that we don't respect ourselves or we cannot be trusted, then the bench as judges can also trust us. So we are only trying to say that this is a soft copy. There is the tendency that when it goes out, it could be doctored, something can happen to it, anything can happen. Then it can even come back as a matter of dispute again. It can go out there and somebody might bring it back. Any of the party can bring it back, and then an area of dispute might arise again. So keep your hard copies. If you want to go through the processes, come in. So I think what Senior Attorney Letter and Senior Chachukata were seeking to do was simply to make sure that the integrity of the report is protected. And in any event, like Doga said, you all have hard copies. Let's deal with the hard copies. But he said that maybe the petitioner thought that they want to have an easy way of reference. They want to look at the document. You have the soft copy. You can just be clicking.
I'm sure by now you have an idea what has gone into it.
Yeah, of course. Senior Letter made it.
So are we likely to see further cross-examination?
Senior Letter made it clear that we have seen the draft. In fact, all parties have seen the draft report. We all saw it. So it's surprising. That is the main reason why we're kicking against the seeking for 2 days. Because we've already made it clear that we need expeditious trial. And we've already gone for some 7 days thereabout. Time is fast spent. And we've all seen the report. So if you've seen the report, you've raised your concerns though. You want to go and then study the report and then juxtapose your concerns to see if they were reflected. It's all good. It's part of the processes. But after seeing the report over the weekend, and we like Senior Letter and Senior Chachu keep to say, there's nothing drastically changing from the previous system, and now nothing has really changed from the report. The change is not too great. You cannot vary the change to a very I don't know how to put it, but then the change is not so significant, of which you don't need 48 hours to study. You have your concerns already. You know the concerns you are talking about. You've already seen the documents. So just take maybe half a day or maybe tomorrow, look at the document, just oppose and refer your concerns, and let's move forward in the name of expedition. But if you want to hijack the process 2 days, meanwhile you already have a motion.
So what you're saying that if Addison were to have opened his, let's say cross-examination, were to have continued today, you were ready? If let's say he has started, continue today and finish, you could also have taken up the tax.
Hey, we are
because
ready.
You have seen what you don't have already, and you're ready to continue with the cross-examination. In fact, are we going to see you come back and do cross-examination?
It depends on the draft report, the details of it. Because
I thought you said you've seen it.
No, but we've not gone through it. We thought we were going to discuss it today. And these are the matters the court sometimes want to be clear. These are matters that went in chambers. So these ones, Tony Leta, Chachikata, these are the seniors who are in charge, unless they want to outplay it. But because it's not coming open court, they don't want us to basically go there. You see, none of that didn't talk about what is in the report.
The way I see it, they might go and come back. That's after these 2 days, and now begin to dwell on what has gone into the report.
Well, definitely.
They're not necessarily picking up the pink sheets now.
Definitely, you realize that the justices were not comfortable with the position of the respondent when they were saying that Tattoo position that look, their witness has been put on hold, and he doesn't see this report. The way forward with the report that the representative should come and then maybe be cross-examined before their witness is cross-examined, but because he think that Philip Addison should continue cross-examining the witness and then finish with it. But you see, at the end of the day, what is more important, these 2 days will not spoil anything. It's more important is that when a party, it's fair that you give the party time. One of the basic principles of fairness is to give your opponent reasonable time to put up a very good case. What you have to know from this angle is that the petitioners came into this court with a game plan. They had their petition. They are the main complainant. The respondent are not complainants. They are what we call, they are there to spoil things. They are like defenders. A defender and then a striker. They play 2 roles. When the ball is in the air, all the defender that need to do is to kick it anywhere. But the striker need to bring the ball down, test it, and then aim at the goal. So the respondent, they wish that the petitioners will be hurry and then go ahead with the cross-examination. But you need a game plan. So the petitioners, the court, in fairness, realize that look, 1 or 2 days will not spoil anything, because they want to look at the details of what has changed in their case, and then maybe strategize with their cross-examination, because maybe they thought that there will not be issue so much with this controversy of the pin sheet. So they have their game plan. Now, once the report is in, now you need to look into details, what can change in your cross-examination. And so 1 or 2 days is enough. It will not do anything. And then the court also agreed with the petitioner dialogue. It's better for the motion to be taken on that particular day. But they didn't want the Thursday, because then one of them said that if it's about Thursday, then let's come rather Monday. So they are also very cautious about time. And I think both parties, I'm so happy with the respondent and the petitioner, because initially people out there thought that the respondent were there to delay the case. But now they were saying that, look, we need to finish this thing because it is having a toll on all of us. Therefore, we have to congratulate the respondent for coming out to say that, look, 2 days is too much. And the judges, in their wisdom, gave almost about 1 day, today and tomorrow, so that Wednesday we come and continue. Great decision. And I think all that we need to do is we pray that this issue will be resolved quickly, and then Addison should be able to continue with this cross-examination and then finish up. My prayer is that there will not be too much cross-examination of the KPMG.
You don't want to see them in the
no, because it's so unfair that they are independent and neutral body that only came in to help.
But they have produced a report which will be the basis for discussions, the basis for whether one is able to proceed in a certain direction or not. So why don't you go to
I'm saying that we should not worry them too much. You realize when the man went to the witness box, when he went to the witness box, he was not comfortable. He felt so heavy.
But he's done some work that he has.
Yes, definitely. But so don't let's push them too much because they have other works to do. So my prayer is that their results will not bring in so much controversy. It's my prayer that both respondents and petitioners will go and look at the report, and then they will not give them so much headache. So that at least we clear.
But they're giving an indication that, I mean, upon a request, they could walk them through the processes. So,
definitely.
Definitely. Isn't that possible?
Definitely. And you realize that
we're going to have that done in court?
Yes, you realize that the petitioners said that they wrote a lot of raised a lot of concern, and whether that have been captured. And so I'm sure.
So definitely we're likely to see Addison come back.
Yeah, but I don't think the KPMG should be the one Addison should direct this.
But who generated the report, Doc?
But I think I'm sure if anything at all, it's hardly to change that report. Time is on our side. So whatever.
But to help everybody understand what has gone into the report.
Well, definitely, but I don't think there will be too much controversy. I don't think so. I'm praying. But you can see from Senior Akufo that to them they are also vindicated. Meanwhile, the respondent also say that it's also good. So I think everybody seems to love the report somehow. Everybody seems to love the report.
But from what you're saying, it's just a draft that you have seen.
Yes.
And if really you all knew exactly what has gone into this report, I'm sure you would not be raising issues like this. So I'm sure now both sides will have to go and sit and go through this 5-volume material quickly between today and Wednesday. And definitely we're likely to see KPMG in the box to answer a few questions.
Harry, that's the difference. Senior Letter made it clear that we have seen it. Nothing, it has not changed drastically. So we as responded, we don't have too much problem.
But you have not indicated. You are not indicated whether you'd want to have them in or not.
We are ready to go, Harry.
Ready to go.
That is why.
Without talking to KPMG.
If we're
without bringing KPMG.
No, it depends. We have seen the report. We've tabled what we want to cross-examine them on. But if we really follow what's outplayed, what we are seeing, and as respondents, what we are seeing is that the petitioners want to take advantage, go and scrutinize the report.
Which is that right, isn't it?
Go and I'm using that word reservedly. I'm using the word scrutinize. I'm not using it in the ordinary. I mean, it's not. I'm putting a certain weight on it.
Okay.
They want to go and scrutinize it. In fact, line by line.
Wouldn't you do so?
But nothing has drastically changed.
But wouldn't you do so? How did you get to know that nothing has changed?
Because we have all seen the report.
You did some scrutiny.
We have all seen the report, and we've seen that. Okay, what were the terms of reference? How many pink sheets are there? What are the codes of these pink sheets? And certain few things that were the terms of reference for KPMG. And the report that has come has dealt extensively with these matters. So if there are slight changes, yes, if there are slight changes, there may be some bit of exhibit numbers and those, and then we can deal with that. But what the petitioners seek to do now, and don't let us forget, as a country, the petitioners already raised concerns before today about some unidentified exhibit numbers, like Senior Akufo just said, that certain pink sheets are in the registrar's copy that are not in the president's copy, some 800 and something thereabout in the president's copy, vice versa, and certain things that. So these are the concerns they raise, and I think at the meeting somewhere Friday or Thursday, they tried to push KPMG. Information we the respondent, our information, there was a sort of agreement on the side of the petitioner trying to put their issue on the table, but that was not basically accepted, and that's what they later raised as concern. Now they want to go and scrutinize the report vis-a-vis their concerns, and that's what we see, and that's what Senior Letter made it clear in court that is the problem we are going to have, that they want to hijack the document we have all seen that does not have any drastic change.
But I think this is the final that has
go and scrutinize it very well and come and put pressure on the KPMG neutral, like Council just said. Let's praise them. Even the court has praised them for doing this yeoman's job, this wonderful job they've done for this country. Now this is the time the petitioners.
That certainly should not.
This is the time the petitioners.
Questions.
Yes,
how they generated this report.
So Henry, if from both sides we've all seen the report for the past, like Senior Chatuchikata made it clear, for 3 or 4 or 5 days we've all seen the report. You've raised your concerns. So what is the matter that you did not look at?
I'm sure we'll get to know about that on Wednesday.
It vindicates our point that they want to go and scrutinize the document,
which is their right.
Come and put pressure on KPMG. Come and push KPMG to the wall.
If you waive your rights, you shouldn't fault them for not doing that. Okay, let me take this one quickly before we go. Now we heard as well through the interview granted by Gloria Akufo that they're going to file a motion, I think, to request that some collation sheets of some 13 areas are brought to court. Do you have any idea which areas that they intend exploring?
Well, I think the last two they talk about the Yellow Krobo, Mayan Krobo, Lejo Kuku, and some number of police stations. Yeah, I'm
asking if
maybe I think Lejo Kuku is one of them. Yellow Krobo, Mayan Krobo.
Have you seen collision sheets for those particular areas?
Those sheets basically was some of the sheet that lead counsel Addison was about to use some time ago, if you remember. And there were some contention, and basically
about the authenticity.
Yes, the exhibit numbers and those things. So they want to get the original one from the custodians of the document, and then juxtapose what they think they have now, and then let also.
But I'm asking your research team. Maybe you've done some work there already, and you have an idea what concerns they may have come up with.
No, Harry, we you see, like he said, we are the defenders.
Go ahead of them.
We are the defenders. We are the defenders. And many a times, the issues raised by the petitioners get to be issues we think, why are you raising these ones? Because it's not too much in contention. Let's get to this logical matter. The issue was about the exhibit numbers. If these documents you want to cross-examine on are different from the ones we have, if the exhibit numbers have changed, then basically we cannot accept them. So if the ones you are bringing are the exhibit numbers we already have in our custody, then there's no matter.
Okay, beyond the exhibit numbers, isn't it about maybe perhaps information that may have gone onto these collation sheets?
There are no strange informations that the petitioners want to seek. They want to seek and see C1, A1 and all those things. We've gone past those things. Okay. We dealt with those things.
I think, but you still have C1s and this on collation sheets? On the collation sheet.
These ones are not the collation. These ones are talking about.
They're talking about collation sheets.
Oh, for the Lejo Kuku.
Yes.
No, these ones are just the sum up of the police station.
Yes, that's what
the
they are
police
calling
station
for.
results.
So no C1s and all those.
No, but Harry, the C1s. What is on the pink sheet?
That's on the pink sheet. That's what is transferred.
And what is in C6? That's the total. It comes onto the collation sheet.
So that's not in context.
So you see, so more or less, if the Lejo Kuku pink sheet, what is in C6 is not in context, there's no problem with it. It's the same that has been transported onto the collation.
I think to resolve this issue, we don't need to go to the merits of the application or not. There is an application pending before the Supreme Court. There is an affidavit in opposition. Let's allow the Supreme Court on the 16th to deal with the matter and come out either to grant the application or to reject it. That's all.
16th?
That's 26. Yes. Okay. So let's not preempt or prejudge the outcome of the application.
But we must praise KPMG for the work done.
Definitely, they've done the good work done.
Whether they come back to be scrutinized or not.
Oh, definitely. There are one or two questions.
Okay.
They have to explain things.
Okay.
To the petitioners and the respondent as well.
Okay. Anyway, your side, you have any issues with KPMG?
No, I mean, like my senior attorney later said, we have seen the draft. There's nothing that has changed drastically. We are ready to go. They want to go and scrutinize.
No. You see, the funny thing that is about the respondent. They will say they don't have anything, but the moment the petitioners raise issues that will help them, they will start. My Lord, we are not giving opportunity. Please go and study.
Sure. we have
take advantage. Yeah. It's like we are going to rise exams, and you think you know. Don't go and sit down, and when the petitioners are coming, they are doing damage. You say, my Lord, we have our interest also that we think we
do. Because nothing new has changed. That's our position. No. Nothing new. You see, the change is
that is your position. Yes. But the position of the petitioner may be different. So everybody should go home and then look at it for a second time. That's the only thing. So
I think the only surprise here is that after 10 days, we'll come back and they will have to adjourn for another 2 days.
But it's good. It's good. I think we are moving forward.
Okay.
With this petition.
Okay, so it's Wednesday, and gentlemen, will say thank you to you. George Tatawayo, legal practitioner, speaks to the NDC. Today, unfortunately, we've not had Gary here. We saw him represented somewhere in the Supreme Court. Okay, so maybe he's come before the Supreme Court.
Yes, he's coming to.
You said you have not been before the Supreme Court before.
Yes,
maybe you should take advantage.
I don't want to be there at all.
Just go.
No, I don't want to be there.
Enjoy. So is that some fear?
Yeah, they can intimidate you. You are very privileged to have them on live, but if you appear before them, they are 5 in number, and the way they will give it to you.
That's a different issue altogether. Okay, so Dr. Maurice Ampao, also a legal brain, who have picked their thoughts here. Gentlemen, we say thank you, and like we said, possibly Wednesday we want to get Gary here, or all sides for that matter represented. We say thank you for your time, for your company. Let's keep enjoying coverage of this election petition, and let's be careful, the media out there, not just the media but the council involved, whichever way We do not want any scapegoating here. We will also do our best. Myself, I'll do my very best to stay away from that touch line. It's been drawn. Nobody wants to cross it. It's like, let me come to local balance. Last stop. You cross it, you're in trouble. We don't want
the line of Rubicon.
Sure. So let's all stay away. That's from my media colleagues here. Let's all try and stay away from that line. We don't have problems with anybody. Thank you again on the other side. And on behalf of the crew here, as usual, we say thank you. My name is Henry Herbert Mam. We've got loads of programs, special ones for you. Enjoy it.